It's a beautiful day for an antique equipment show here in Ralston, Pennsylvania with the Loyalsock Valley Antique Machinery Association. The weather is cooperating beautifully, and who needs cell service anyway, because at a certain point you just follow your primal instinct toward the smell of gear grease and the sound of a hit and miss engine. I don't love attending events when it's rainy. I don't like the rain, but two things. They have a lot of inside exhibits, and I knew I'd get some time with an expert. I also found the charismatic proprietor of this fine establishment. This is Kyle Fowler. He runs the place, and he's going to teach me about peacock coal, because that was a term I'd never heard.
So this is anthracite coal, otherwise known as hard coal, and this is a type of it that we call peacock coal. And the way that it interacts and oxidizes, you get a lot of these rainbow colors and different sheens all throughout the coal.
The history of the property is varied. It was a sawmill, a tannery, and a rail yard. This is Noah, and he has a collection of old electrical devices and components. And this is a glass battery I've never gotten to see.
Would they'd fill it with water?
Yeah, there would be an acid solution in there, and these are the two, your anode and your cathode in a battery. So it's just a different style rather than flat lead plates. So that is mostly eaten away. These are meant for, or were meant for, farm electric lighting systems. So you had 16 cells all in series, and that would be 32 volts. And then these generators were actually used to charge the batteries, and they would run until the batteries were fully charged, and then they'd shut themselves off. But then you could run your house lighting off the batteries. So the houses were set up with 32 volt lights, and all of these motors and appliances and things on these tables are 32 volt DC. So you had the advantage of having electricity when you needed it, but not having to run the generator all the time like you would have to if you were making AC power.
So a little bit like hunting camps do, or like camps up in
It's
would still do.
very similar
Just have
to
a big battery backup.
having an off-grid solar system, except they used a gas-driven generator to charge the batteries. You had two slices of bread on, one on either side, and it would open up for you to take your bread out and put it back in to toast the other side. This one has a little swinging mechanism
Oh my gosh.
that allows you to toast both sides without burning your fingers.
Oh, that's fancy. Is this really a dedicated marshmallow toaster?
It is. So that's a novelty item that the Angelus Campfire Marshmallow Company made, and you could mail in for it. And it was, for city folk that didn't have fires but had electricity. It just has this insert comes out of there. It is stamped. It says Angelus Campfire Barbecue Marshmallow Toaster. And it just has a little heating element that goes around, and that goes in there. And
Do you set the marshmallow in and then scoop it out? Or?
I think you set it in here.
Yeah.
Otherwise it would probably burn down in there, but
Maybe you fold it over with a fork. Oh, a dimmer switch.
Yep, that's just a fixture with a built-in dimmer.
That's clever.
Just a stirrer in here, and you put your popcorn in, and it's got an electric element inside there.
It's nice to see. I thought maybe, having a separate rice cooker, air fryer, deep fryer, Instapot, toaster oven was just a modern thing. But as it turns out, there were electric gadgets long, long ago.
Oh, absolutely.
Miner's lamps are the coolest thing, because what do you get when you mix calcium carbide and water? Acetylene. Explain this to me. Is that T-rail?
Yeah. Yep. So this is, I believe, 30-pound rail. It's used in a lot of mines and lighter rail applications. And we're using it to support our little trammer electric mine locomotive from English Center, Pennsylvania.
I wish I would have recorded more of the lesson I got on this Heidelberg letterpress machine. It's a linotype machine, and you would type out what you wanted to say in sentence form, and the keys would smash into lead, and they would use those as the stamp for duplicating lines of text that you wanted, and then they would melt them down, reuse them.
Tractor
used in the war would be over $1,000. Retail price before the war. You had an old truck or an old car, or a couple extra transmissions to make the tractor do anything.
For a fraction of it.
Legally a tractor, and you didn't have to have ration stamps to buy gasoline or a tractor. They keep all their vehicles full of gas, and they'd sell gas on the black market.
Doodlebugs were like the epitome of wartime depression resourcefulness, where people would take a passenger vehicle and turn it into a makeshift tractor. Oftentimes a second transmission and extra gearboxes were
So as it operates, it feeds it in, but you can control it, right?
Yep. Yep, you can crank it in, it feeds the logs, and then it has the grabbers on it. And you can engage the saw blade and cut to whatever part you want.
Why, thank you. Of course I want to ride.
Don?
So actual pull. It's the first for me. So tell me again what the parts are.
So it was a far stationary boiler. And the actual engines that are driving it were from a winching engine, a steam-driven winch. And it's on an old school bus spring.
You can't get this kind of...
You can't get this kind of experience just anywhere.
What do you do while it's at a standstill and you're not using all that energy and it's all just here? Do you just choke it off?
Yeah.
But if you come when the weather's like this, you get personal tours. This is all one gentleman's collection, and it is apparently one of the most photographed places in the museum if you Google it. And I was particularly interested in these E-Keeler pumps because I was a boilermaker on Reach Road in Williamsport, Pennsylvania for a company called Acker-Kverner. Before that it was Tampella, and I think before it was that, it was E-Keeler boilers. And if you've been to a show in the northern tier, you may have seen this gentleman who collects hammers. He's got like 2 trailerfuls of them. He will not sell them, but he'll buy them from you. And since it's Sunday, the last day of the show, the traveling exhibits are packing up to go home, and Kyle tells me that these things go down the road hot. So if you think this is cool, and I certainly did, you should come here when the weather is fair, because they've got a ton of vendors and they had music yesterday. It has been my experience that it's not a recurring festival or show if you don't get rained out one of these days. So check their website for all of the happenings. There's one happening in September too. Look at that. If nothing else, it's a beautiful place to spend your weekend. And if you've traveled in Potter, Tioga, Sullivan counties, Pennsylvania, you know what I'm talking about.